Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So as we get closer to the fight being announced, or possibly being announced, Mayweather versus Pacquiao, we're starting to hear more professional boxers, trainers, etc. give their thoughts and make predictions on the fight. Now, every single fighter that has faced both Mayweather and Pacquiao, coincidentally, they all picked Floyd Mayweather to beat Manny Pacquiao, right? And even the fighters who lost to Manny Pacquiao, but they didn't face Mayweather, they are also picking Floyd to beat Manny Pacquiao, like Chris Algieri, for example. Now, of course, when Chris Algieri comes out and he says Floyd Mayweather is going to pretty much beat him easy, right? Of course, the Floyd Mayweather detractors and the Manny Pacquiao fans, the first thing they say is, oh, you're just saying that because Manny Pacquiao beat your ass, right? You got your ass whooped and now you're bitter. In other words, they're basically saying the only way a fighter would come out and say Floyd Mayweather, he would win because he's a better fighter and et cetera, the only way a fighter would say something like that is if something was wrong with them, right? Like, there's no way a professional fighter who's been boxing all their life can possibly say Floyd Mayweather wins hands down. I mean, breaking it down, going through all of the attributes, right? I mean, same thing with Paulie Malignaggi, which, obviously he didn't fight either one of these fighters, but Paulie Malignaggi, before he started talking about Mayweather and Pacquiao, these fans, they were in love with Paulie Malignaggi. Soon as Paulie starts saying Floyd Mayweather is going to beat him and he's going to beat him easy, then all of a sudden now, Paulie Malignaggi, he's only saying this because he was never as good as Manny Pacquiao and, he can't hit worth a damn and all of this stuff that has nothing to do with a person giving you their assessment, breaking down a fight, right? So going back to Chris Algieri, like I said, he says something like this, and the fans, they say, oh, he's only saying it because he got his ass whooped. But see, the difference from Chris Algieri and Brandon Rios is not only did Brandon Rios say that Floyd Mayweather wins the fight recently, but the difference is Brandon Rios, he actually said to Manny Pacquiao's face on ESPN, First Take, he said to Manny Pacquiao's face, Floyd Mayweather would beat you, and he would beat you decisively. This is what Brandon Rios said sitting right next to Manny Pacquiao, basically, or very close to him, right? Now, this is so funny because I notice when people like Brandon Rios, Sergio Martinez, Mikey Garcia, Juan Marquez, Oscar De La Hoya, and the list goes on and on and on. When they praise Floyd Mayweather and they give him way more credit than they give Manny Pacquiao, these fans, they make sure they don't attack these fighters and trainers for saying pretty much the same thing you've heard me say on numerous occasions. But let me say it, and all of a sudden, I'm seeing all these racist ass comments, all of this shit that has nothing to do with boxing when I say it, right? And by the way, a lot of times you guys don't see the racist comments that are sent to me because they automatically get blocked on my account and they automatically go to my review folder. YouTube is so high tech that you could actually go into your settings and you could just type in certain racist keywords or any keywords that you don't want to be posted on your channel in the comment section, and YouTube will automatically block those comments, or those words, I should say, keywords, and it automatically goes into your review folder like I just said. Now, what's so shocking is the majority of anti-keywords that I have listed that are automatically blocked are some of the most frequent used racial slurs online, right? So with me telling you guys that and how it works, how many comments would you guess I have in my review folder right now? Just take a wild guess. Would you believe me if I told you that I have over 4,000 comments in my review folder right now? And out of the 4,000 comments, at least 3,500 of those messages are some of the most racist messages that you guys have ever read online. Okay? So back to the original question. Does this mean that Brandon Rios is obsessed with Floyd Mayweather? Does this mean that he's Floyd Mayweather's #1 fan? Well, does it? Of course not. And I'll prove it to you. Now, like I said, before the fight, Brandon Rios said to Manny Pacquiao's face, Floyd Mayweather would beat you pretty much easy. That's pretty much what he said, right? Now, recently, he said the same thing, but he said it with a different tone. This time he said, and I quote, "It feels wrong for me to say this, but I think Floyd beats Manny Pacquiao. Floyd is just a very defensive fighter. He's got so many skills. He's been in so many positions, and he does have that skill. I do believe that Floyd beats him. I think by decision. I don't see nothing else. I think it would just be a decision because Floyd is too smart to do anything else. He's not going to take risks and try to get hurt himself." End quote. This is what he said to On the Ropes Boxing Radio. Now, before I go into other factors that proves that Brandon Rios is not a Floyd Mayweather boxing fan, he just believes that Mayweather would handle Pacquiao fairly easily, is something else he said at the end of this interview, is when he says that he doesn't believe that Floyd Mayweather is going to take any risk and try to get hurt himself. It's pretty ironic that Brandon Rios would say something like that because when he fought Manny Pacquiao, Brandon Rios himself didn't take that many risks in the fight. Okay? Now, I believe the first 5 or 6 rounds, Brandon Rios, believe it or not, he had a chance to actually upset Manny Pacquiao. I know you guys think that sounds crazy, but when Brandon Rios was letting his hands go in the few rounds that he did, he had Manny Pacquiao very uncomfortable. You heard Manny Pacquiao's biggest supporter, Jim Lampley, say it. You heard Roy Jones say it on numerous occasions. You even heard Max Kellerman corroborate what they had said. All right? There were times in the fight where Brandon Rios, he was making Manny Pacquiao feel very uncomfortable with the pressure and the aggression. But the problem is, once Manny Pacquiao caught Brandon Rios with something good for the rest of the night, which was pretty much the second half of the fight, Brandon Rios, he fought like a fighter who basically said, I'm not going to get embarrassed and let this guy knock me out. I have way too much pride to get knocked out. So I'm just going to block and shell up the rest of the night and focus on not getting knocked out. So, like I said, it's interesting he would say that because Brandon Rios, he was the one that didn't take risk in the fight. And I can guarantee you Mayweather will take way more risk against Manny Pacquiao than Brandon Rios did. Once again, like I said, if Brandon Rios would have let his hands go, yes, he could have possibly got knocked out by Manny Pacquiao, but at the same time, he could have possibly caught Manny Pacquiao and either broke him down and possibly could have scored a knockout. But he was not willing to take that risk. Okay? It's funny how you have some people try to say, oh, you know, Floyd Mayweather is just a defensive fighter. He's going to win because he's defensive. But then every other fighter that I've seen get in the ring and just fight a defensive fight, they usually lose, and they usually lose by a landslide. When Shane Mosley fought against Floyd Mayweather, Shane Mosley fought a defensive fight. Did he dominate that fight? Not even close, right? The only success he had was staggering Floyd Mayweather in the second round. And even after he staggered Floyd Mayweather came back and won the second half of that round, right? Let me tell you what a defensive fighter is. A defensive fighter is Shane Mosley versus Floyd Mayweather. Shane Mosley versus Manny Pacquiao. Hector Camacho Sr. against Julio Cesar Chavez. Okay, just to name a few. These are what you call defensive fighters. There's no way you can be a defensive fighter when you're landing more punches than your opponent is landing, right? That's just like people trying to say that Guillermo Rigo was boring against Nonito Donaire, but yet Guillermo Rigo, he landed more punches than Nonito Donaire landed. I mean, listen to what Brandon Rios said. He said Floyd Mayweather is not going to try to get hurt himself. Who do you know that goes in the ring and tries to get hurt? Nobody does. You think Brandon Rios fights like that because he's trying to get hurt? No, Brandon Rios, he gets hit because he does not have the rhythm nor the coordination to move out of the way and avoid the shots. Why do you think Brandon Rios was so offensive when so many fans was calling him a punching bag with legs and arms? Why do you think he was upset? Because if he was trying to put himself at risk to get hurt, he would have took that as a compliment, right? That would have been the honors that he was looking for. But Brandon Rios was seriously offended when people called him that. Another reason you know that Brandon Rios is not trying to get hurt, because he's putting his hands up. When the punches are coming at him, he's trying to block the punches. But once again, when you don't have that natural head movement, rhythm, coordination, and defense, then you have to just brace yourself and take the damn punch, right? Think about this for a second. Why was Manny Pacquiao moving around the ring way more than we were used to seeing him move when he was fighting against Brandon Rios? Why was he tying up Brandon Rios so often? Because in the words of Brandon Rios, Manny Pacquiao was trying not to get hurt. Isn't that one of the first things you were taught in the sport of boxing? You're taught to punch, you're taught to block. No boxing trainer teaches their kids to get hit and then put yourself at risk to get hurt yourself. And if there is a trainer out there like that, I can guarantee you he has a gym full of damn losers. Because even as aggressive as Mike Tyson was, do you guys know that Mike Tyson had one of the best defenses in heavyweight history? Do you know that Mike Tyson's defense was 5 times better than Muhammad Ali's defense? That's right. Mike Tyson seldomly ever got hit with a barrage of punches. Okay? And obviously, I'm talking about before Buster Douglas and Holyfield and all of that. But once again, the point that I'm making is Mike Tyson, he never really got hit. And you can't say because he had a better defense than certain fighters that he wasn't willing to put himself in harm's way. For the cats around my age, you remember playing games like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. What was the best victory to get in those games? It was a flawless victory and a perfect win, right? You guys remember back in the arcade days where everybody would be surrounding the Street Fighter game or the Mortal Kombat game? You have cats putting their quarter up to indicate that they're next in line. It was always that one cat who would get on the sticks and would literally beat cats by a flawless victory and have everybody in the circle like, damn, this motherfucker bad right here, right? When you watch sci-fi movies, like Spider-Man or The Matrix. They don't praise the character who gets hit, right? They praise the character who avoids punches, who avoids bullets being shot at him, like The Matrix. You guys remember the first Spider-Man where Peter Parker was at school in the hallway and Flash tried to start a fight with him? And you remember Flash, he's throwing all of these punches, and Peter Parker, he's avoiding all the punches. He sees the punches coming in slow motion. And when you watch this, you're impressed, right? You wouldn't have been impressed if Peter Parker would have just got hit with 5 or 6 shots and then he turned back around and he hit that guy with 1 punch and knocked him out. That wouldn't be impressive. It was impressive to see how Peter Parker avoided the punches, because that is a skill within itself. Any of us could get punched in the face. It doesn't take any skill to get punched in the face. It takes a tremendous amount of skill to stand right in front of somebody and avoid the bullets. See the punches coming in slow motion, right? And then whoop their ass without even getting touched. Flawless victory. Okay? Listen, everything we do in life, we are taught to do it to the best of our ability. No matter what you do in life. All the way from a boxer to a football player, basketball player, a doctor, a lawyer, a blue-collar worker working 9 to 5. At least the majority of people aim for perfection. Right? That's pretty much all I got. I'm on to the next one.